As many people know, I was diagnosed with melanoma on December 23rd, 2022. So it's been about a month and a couple of days that I've been living with this diagnosis. Um, the whole journey has just been, it's only been a month, and the whole journey thus far has been very challenging for me. And the most challenges I find are really in the mental aspect of it. You know, I had to make certain changes like no alcohol, rice, pasta, anything like carbs, sugar, all of that had to be eliminated from my diet. I had to eliminate any processed foods, microwave foods, no matter how healthy the frozen food was, I had to get rid of it because it's just something I can't indulge in right now. Just trying to make my body as alkaline as possible, just eliminating sugar as much as possible from my diet because cancer cells feed on sugar. They literally cannot survive without sugar. So trying to like basically drain myself of whatever sugar I have and just detox my body so that I can prepare my body to go on this healthcare journey. I've had ups and downs as far as the mental aspect though, because the changing of the diet I thought was going to be the hardest part for me, and it's really not. The hardest part thus far has been just like living in a state of like purgatory in a sense, because I don't feel like I feel like I want to be happy and I'm trying to stay positive. And in being happy and staying positive, it requires a certain amount of ignorance, I guess. Like not ignorance, but it requires me to like put all the cancer stuff and all the bad things that could potentially happen to the back burner and focus on the good things that could come from this journey, and just trying to reprogram my mind to the state of this is not happening to me, it's happening for me. In that space, it's difficult to acknowledge that this is still a cancer journey, you know? So there are negative repercussions that come with this journey. And so when I'm focused on the positive and not focused on that, I feel like I'm kind of doing myself a disservice a little bit, because I'm not, in a sense I have to make myself feel like it's not real in order to stay positive and stay happy. Because the times that I really dwell about what this could actually mean and what this actually is, it causes me to spiral into like depression, and I don't want to talk to anybody and I want to be away from people. And that right there in itself is the worst thing to be doing during this point, because I need a support. And I need people that are going to support me and send me love when I can't love myself or when I can't get through it. So it's just a difficult space to be in, because it's difficult to find that balance. Another thing that is difficult is staying grounded in my faith and my beliefs, because you know, if you were raised Christian, you were always taught like, don't question God. You don't question God. And it's not even that I'm questioning God as to why this in particular is happening to me. My questions more so stem from, what am I supposed to be doing? Right now, I'm in a situation where they will want me to get face surgery. And the facial surgery is basically an invasive biopsy that would determine the full stage of my cancer. Right now, from what they know, I'm about a stage 2 in it. But in order for them to truly find out the true depth of the cancer, then they would have to go into my face, and I don't even got a marker, and I'm not about to put this random stuff on my face given the situation, but they basically have to do a circle about this big, take that whole portion out of my face and examine it to see if there's any cancerous cells or how deep the cancerous cells there are. From that biopsy, they would determine if it spread to any parts of my body. They also would have to do a lymph node sample, which would happen in my neck, and they will be pulling a lymph node from my neck as well. And these things will determine if it's spread. Melanoma is not something that should be taken lightly, and it can definitely spread and, be terminal. My only reservations with this is that my plastic surgeon that I had basically told me that if I do it, it would leave me disformed. Like, I would have a disfigured face. It's not like a flat, it's a scoop. So like a chunk of my face would be taken out and just sealed up. So essentially, I run the risk of having nerve damage. I run the risk of being paralyzed on one side of my face. I run the risk of not being able to use my motor skills the way I want to. As far as, like he mentioned, I might be like drool as my mouth might not close all the way. I will be drooling, just like it's just a certain level of dignity that I have within myself that I just don't want to succumb to. And then also the inevitable scarring of the whole situation. And it's just like, I'm really torn because I have a newborn to think about. And, to some people, me explaining this might just sound like a no-brainer. Like, well, let me back up a little bit. So with that those are the potential outcomes of the surgery. Now, the healthcare that I have, I'm not going to say them right now, but the doctors that I have had and the surgeons that I have had have not made me feel confident in their ability to execute this procedure. In fact, all they told me and all they have told me are the negative outcomes of this. They never have told me what the benefits of getting this surgery is. All they are telling me is that if you get the surgery, you increase your chances of living. That's it. And to me, I just feel like that's just not enough for me. And not living, but just that answer, like, it's just going to increase my chances of living. Like, I need them to be fucking for real. Okay? It's not as simple as just getting a surgery. Now, on the flip side, if I don't get this surgery, they have told me that my chances of living is only for a year. And you can imagine, like, this process is very triggering for me because if you know me personally, then you know that I lost both of my parents, one of my parents to cancer. My mom was given a due date as far as like how long she was expected to live as well. And she didn't make it to that time. So just hearing that in that office with that doctor just triggered me in a way that, you wouldn't believe. I'm already going through cancer without my number one person, which would be my mom. And it's like, I know all the people in my corner want me to survive and they want me to be here. But it just hit different. Like, having your mom there, you just feel so confident in whatever decision you make, like consulting with her or whatever. I don't know how people's normal relationships were with their mom, but my relationship with my mom was like that. And so it's just difficult to go through something like this. I want to be intentional with the words I'm using because I don't want to say alone, because there are a lot of people out there that love me and support me and that have been doing a lot for me to, help me navigate through this journey. But with all that help, it doesn't, it doesn't take away the feeling of feeling alone in this situation, because nobody else is going through what I'm going through with the same circumstances. And it's just a lot on me. So basically, I'm living in a space right now where I have to decide to get a surgery that could disfigure me and live, or not get the surgery and, stay true to myself and what I've been doing in terms of healing myself naturally, to stay alive. And so I know to most people it might be a no-brainer, but it's just hard to think about like all the time and all the years I spent into loving myself and loving myself for who I am, and all the things that I've been through that have been mind altering and life changing, to just finally get to a place of peace. Like, I literally spent my entire 20s grieving the loss of my mom, and not in a sense of just like crying all day, but just in retrospect, the decisions I was making, the things that I was doing, the stuff that I was neglecting, all attribute to this trauma that I experienced in my life that I never really got to the core of. And honestly, the trauma is very stress inducing, and stress is one of the main ways that cancer can thrive. So getting the surgery to me is just like, I'm just scared it's going to take me down to a deeper level of depression than I've ever been in, because I present as a certain way to my friends and family, but I go through depression a lot given my circumstances and given the things that I've been through. And so I don't want to go deeper in depression, having to wake up and look at myself in the mirror and not see what I'm used to, or not see who I was, and have to grow and spend all of this time relearning and re-loving and retrying to love myself as with a disfigured face. Like, I know the people that love me want me to live, but I also want my quality of life to be, considered, because what good is having a life where you just living it depressed, or living it in the shadows, or living it under covers, or don't want to go out and experience life no more because your face is altered, and not being able to get up out of depression and show up for my son because I let people convince me to do something that I wasn't really sure of doing, and now I have to live with the implications. And it doesn't matter how beautiful people tell me that you'll still be beautiful and we'll still love you. That's cool and all. That's stuff you say when you're not going through it. And it's not to say that the stuff that they're saying is not genuine, but that's just easy to spew out when it's not you. Because if somebody told you today that you feel completely fine, you feel completely fine, maybe better than you normally feel, and they're telling you got a cancer growing inside of you that could potentially kill you, so we need to work on half of your face, and you might end up with your face messed up. Would you be really willing to jump at it and do it? And I'm trying to come from a space of not like being selfish, because again, like I said, I have to think of my son. I went through so much pain and torment and losing my mom and my dad, and like, it's something I never have gotten over, and I don't think I ever will get over. And it's difficult for me to talk about, and I just really do a good job of presenting like it's not as big of an issue as it really is in my day to day. And I just don't want my son to have to go through that. But I'm also not God, and I also know that when it's your time, it's your time. Like, I could very well go through this surgery and get in a car accident the next day, God forbid. But what I'm saying? Like, I can't, just because I'm doing the surgery does not guarantee life. It just gives me a greater chance, according to them, of surviving. And so with me being so educated and versed in just the research I've been doing, as far as not just only melanoma, skin cancer, just the healthcare system in general, it leaves me with a disdain for the system in general, and just wanting to trust them. And it's not off just something I heard. These are from my own experiences. The way they treated my mother during her last days, I witnessed it myself, is sickening. Okay? The way I was treated when I was giving birth to Sincere was not good at all. They didn't listen to me. They didn't consider anything I was saying. It was just, they pressured me into feeling like if I didn't make a certain decision, then it would gravely affect my son's life. So I had to jump and do certain things that I knew in my gut that just wasn't right for me and my situation. So just having to now, with the situation being what it is, and expressing, what I feel to my friends and my family, and them just like still saying like, you should just go get the surgery. It's like, how can I trust a system that has let me down a lot? Like a lot. And it's not like, based off firsthand experiences. If this was any other situation, I know by far this is not a similar situation. But if your friends knew you was dealing with a man that constantly kept doing you wrong, your friends and family's advice to you would be, stop messing with that dude. So like, I've been in experiences with the healthcare system, and they're constantly doing me wrong. Like, even though research, I'm finding out the creams they prescribed to me as a child for my eczema has an extreme amount of steroids in it and shouldn't be used over a certain period of time. But I was constantly being prescribed to that as a child. And I don't know if that has aided in me getting skin cancer, because the skin cancer that I have doesn't come from the sun. So, who knows what these products and stuff has caused within me, you know what I'm saying? Or has altered or affected my skin. So like, what I do know is that meditation, changing of the diet, incorporating exercise, and like being very disciplined and sticking to it can offer some very, very, very promising results. And I just don't want that to be disregarded. The point of what I'm saying is just like, if you're out there going through this type of cancer or any type of cancer or any type of thing impeding on your health, like, just make sure you do your own research, and you got to follow your heart, your intuition, your gut. Like, it's just been very difficult because there's so many people offering their opinions. And it's not that I don't want their opinions, because I'm not the type of person that like, oh, this is what I'm believing, so I'm stuck in my ways. Nah, I'm the type of person, I need every single aspect of research. Like, I'm looking at everything. I need everything laid out at the table. It's not like I just decided, oh, I'm going a holistic, natural route, and I'm just completely shut off to getting a surgery. But just from the information provided to me, I don't feel confident in the plastic surgeons and the surgeons that I've seen's ability to execute what they need to execute. I don't feel confident in their explanations of how my treatment has to go and why my treatment has to go a certain type of way. And it's really just a lot of cultural insensitivity and just, not feeling heard or feeling as if though my problem doesn't matter. And I'm not saying any of this to say that doctors are bad people, because I understand doctors are human. If you spend all day having to tell people bad news for years and years, of course you might get to a point that you're numb to it. Of course you might get to a point that, you have to block out certain elements of empathy and sympathy in order to get through your day. So I'm not disregarding any of that, and I'm not disregarding Western medicines or anything like that at all, because I know in some people's cases, for some people, it has healed them and it has been helpful to them, and that's been a part of their journey to recovery. But I just personally am not going to be a person that's just going to allow somebody in a white coat that's known me for 20 minutes to tell me that I'm going to die in a year, and that just to tell me about myself and my body and what I know to be true. It's such a hard thing in situations like these to be grounded in faith, because I just don't know if my faith should be put in the fact that I know all of this. I've been researching these things even prior to me even having cancer, just because I'm just an inquisitive person. I love, if you know me, I love documentaries. I love learning new information. So it's just something that I've already immersed myself in. And I just don't think that's ironic or coincidence that I know all this information was presented to me at the times that they were. I don't feel like that was for no reason. I feel like knowing these things is to give me a broader outlook and to really implement these things and make the best decision for myself. Most people are very gung-ho. My doctor said this, so this is what it is. I'm not one of them. She not one of them. I'm not. You don't know me. You know me for 20 minutes and you just know what I can articulate in this moment, because it's a very emotional moment. You already know, you only know what I'm telling you, and you only know what the doctor previous just put on his report. But it gets deeper than that, because when you're telling me, oh, if I don't get this surgery, you're going to die. The doctor yesterday told me that she had a friend that had melanoma, and she died 2 years after her diagnosis. And, you know, I asked her, like, did she get the surgery? And she said, yeah. I didn't understand what her point of telling me that story was, because if you're trying to convince me to get the surgery, why would you tell me somebody who actually went through with the processes that y'all suggested for them still passed away from it? I just don't get how that was supposed to make me feel. Or, you know what I'm saying? This is how they're talking to me. And not once have they said, you know, we've dealt with this so many times. I'm confident in my ability. I'm confident in this regimen, you know, to get you better and to get you to, you know, health. So all I can go off right now is just what I feel, you know, and what I feel is not removed from facts or reality. You know, what I feel is heavily based in facts and reality. The fact of the matter is they don't listen. The healthcare system has not listened to Black women, and I've been a victim of that. The reality is that getting this surgery, although it might keep me alive, might alter the quality of my life while I'm here. The reality is that getting this surgery doesn't guarantee that they get all of the cancer out. The things that I'm doing can only help, regardless of what route I take. If I end up getting a surgery because I get badgered down, or because I feel like, you know, I get a sign that I need to get the surgery, the things that I'm doing will help and assist. So the moral of all this was really to get this off my chest, because I just been feeling a type of way about it, and I just spend my days kind of like in a sort of agony. Like, I want to move forward with my life, but I feel like sometimes, what am I moving forward for if I'm supposed to be gone in a year? And I want to move forward with my life, but how can I focus on anything with this health situation impeding on anything that I'm trying to do, you know? So this is just for anybody that's going through something similar. Health, it don't even have to be melanoma, skin cancer. Just, you got to go with your gut, and you got to go with your intuition. God ain't put that there for no reason. You know, having faith is trusting, even when you don't know what the outcome could be. But you have to be mindful of what you're putting your faith in. I've never heard of a story where people was eating vegetables and fruit and changing their diet and not eating processed food that has killed someone. But I've heard plenty of stories of people that went through chemotherapy, like my mom, that have ultimately died because of these Western practices. And the people that they are saying are passing away, you know, you got to consider the factors. Like, when you told these people they had melanoma, did they go in depression and just decide they were going to give up and just take whatever treatments? Or did these people pass away after changing their diet, after changing their regimen, after changing their mind, after removing negative people out their lives and really fighting for their lives themselves? I'm not about to lay down and leave the health of my hands into somebody in a white coat. They can assist in the journey, but ultimately, I just don't want to be pressured this time, because whatever decision is made, I have to live with it. And when y'all not around encouraging me, and when I'm up at 3 a.m. crying by myself and, you know, just wondering why all of this is happening to me, I have nobody there but me. So, yeah. It's a lot to think about, and I'm not even about to give y'all a tear, because I'm not about to be one of the people that be crying online. So, no shade to people that cry online. That's just not my vibe. So, yeah, if you can offer any support right now, I would be looking for. I'm looking for African Americans, good plastic surgeons of color, good dermatologists of color that can just empathize with my situation and understand, you know, what my reservations are, and can aid me in eradicating some of those reservations, and just to help me make a mindful decision, because right now the resources I have not been the best. So sending love and prayers to anybody else that's going through cancer or anything, grief, any traumatic loss, anything that's making you have to make a hard decision that can ultimately change the trajectory of your life as you know it. Just know you're not alone, and you're not the only person going through something like that. Like, I'm here if you want to track out, if anyone cares. .online, send a message. I'm responding to cancer patients and people who can, give me guidance. So, yeah, I'm open to everything. And thank you to everybody who have been sending their like wishes and, just good energy, prayers and everything. Like, just continue to do that, and just, make sure you not only praying for my healing, but just pray for discernment and like a sound mind, because this is it. I would be lying if I said it wasn't getting to my mental. So, yeah, hopefully this helps.